Welcome back to the Whiskey Score. I'm Adam. Today I have a unique whiskey for us to try and score, the Pine Barren cherrywood-smoked whiskey, American single malt. Now, the story behind grabbing this bottle off the shelf, I went into Total Wine and I wanted something unique and different. It's getting cold here in Santa Fe. The weather, I think Wednesday it's supposed to freeze, so let's try something different, unique, something that just feels like the weather's changing. So this bottle really jumped out at me, but this is what my eyes saw. Pine Barren cherrywood malt American single malt whiskey with these fun little pine conies. It felt like the right spirit. It felt like the right season for this. Now, what it actually says, and the key word in here, Pine Barren cherrywood smoked malt American single malt whiskey with these fun little pine cones. Completely, my eyes just glazed over the smoked part. For some reason, I was so excited to see a different, unique malt whiskey and the wood and the word cherrywood in it as well. Because a good friend of mine who's part of this channel, we got to get his videos going pretty soon, John, had sent me this Bardstown cherrywood. Oh no, he didn't send me this one. I picked this one up, but he gave me my first sip of this when I went to see John. He gave me a sip of this one. I ended up getting this one in California. John brought with him this one, which is an Oklahoma store pick, Rickhouse A Floor 118 proof single barrel, and the toasted cherrywood flavor profile in these bottles is insane. It is so good. The rye, the spiciness, and then the cherrywood. Oh my God, I can't wait to review this. We'll wait for John on that one. I was excited when I saw cherrywood, completely glazed over, glossed over, missed, skipped, omitted the smoked part. Probably one of the most, it's gonna be there. The characteristic is gonna be there. Now, the other thing to note is really loving single malts. Single malt, single malt, single malt, so good. This Westward redefined single malt and also just whiskey for me. So again, John gave me my first taste of this pour of the Westward. And then the other thing that we have coming up, super excited for, unboxing. Milestone by Westward. So I can't wait for this one. Do a little unboxing and whiskey score of the Milestone. Again, John is responsible for both those. Craziness. So that being said, let's take a look at the whiskey we have up for today. This is the other kicker on the back that I kind of neglected to read. Minimum 1 year in the barrel. Now it's 95 proof, American single malt, 100% malted barley. That's interesting to me. New American oak 700 liter barrel. Now those are giant barrels. The 700 liter barrels, typically called Gorda barrels, which typically age wine. And from what I read here, in this area of Long Island, there's lots of vineyards. So probably those giant vineyard-like barrels, but it is a charred American new oak. And what they do is English style barley wine ale kind of wash first. So they do a barley, like an ale, English style, get the wash, and then they ferment that and turn that into the spirit, which then they barrel. Paid $51.99, and the other kicker, it's only a 350, excuse me, I had 700 in my mind, 350 milliliter little bopper of a bottle. So, you know, take that. And it has cracked. I already took a little sip from it when I got it. Wanted to give it a quick little sip, and today we get to score it. Here's a few other things that is on their website that they say about this particular offering. Distilled on the Norfolk of Long Island with this new cherrywood pine Barrens. The malted barley is smoked over cherrywood fire to add an additional distinctive layer of subtle smoke flavor prior to the fermentation process. Following fermentation, master distiller Rich double distills the whiskey in copper pot stills, delicately aged for not less than 1 year in new American oak casks, an American classic in the making. The result, not peated but slightly smoky aroma, is added to the rich and spicy malt driven flavors of the small batch American single malt whiskey. The tangy bitterness of hoppy ale wash shines through, which beer lovers will embrace and whiskey lovers will savor. The story behind it: Pine Barrens cherrywood-smoked malt whiskey is named after the Central Suffolk County Protected Forest Preserve area, which covers over 100,000 acres. The Pine Barren Preserves protects the Magathie aquifer that formed over 21,000 years ago when the glaciers receded from Long Island and created one of the purest water sources in the United States. The pure waters also are iron-free, making them ideally suited for producing the world's finest whiskey. And some of what I was reading as well were, with those aquifers, it still has water that's like 100 years old that they're pulling from. So it's like very rocky and sandy, and so when it rains, the water just drains right down and gets trapped in these deep underground aquifers. So that's pretty cool. Pine Barrens Cherrywood Smoked Malt Whiskey is the perfect fusion of craft beer and small batch distilling. Spicy, rich, velvety, smooth maltness is met with subtle and sweet smokiness that add depth on the palate and complements aromas of cooking spices, caramel on the finish. There we go. So, crafted from the finished barley wine ale. It sounds fun. Let's see if I can get past that smoke. That'll be the interesting component for me, at least. Smoke can be pretty prevalent. All right, enough talking. Let's give this Pine Barren American Single Malt a score. Let's pour it, nose it, check out the color. And a little pop. Let's get this little bit of a pour in here. Check out the color. Ooh, I just can't help. I always jump right from pour to nose. But let's do this coloring. Let's really take a look here. Let's see what you make of this kind of coppery color. Let's see what we have for the I'm seeing this deep copper into this burnished. It's more over here on this deep copper color. So color scored. There we go. We got our deep copper for today. Today's score, and now let's jump right into the fun part. On the nose, wow, that is interesting. That is different. There's definitely a nose there. It's that cherry wood and smokiness. A little bit of tarriness in that smoke. I get, now so for me, I gotta make this clear. I am not a smoky whiskey person, so it gets that sulfury, band-aidy note from my palate, from my nose. The sulfurs, the band-aids. Now, just talking on the nose here, the first thing that hits is light, kind of tarry smokiness, cherry wood, obviously. So there's something behind it that hits with this mineral, into this chalk. There's that light sandalwood charcoal, and a little bit of this brown sugar. When I'm nosing it, I'm trying to get past that smoky layer, digging deeper into the smells. And that's where I pull out some of that brown sugar, sweeterness. It's interesting, you really, when I start reaching in there, I mean, it's got a full nose. The nose, on the nose, it is filling up my whole cavity in my brain with just lighting up with sensations. But then when I start thinking oh God, there's the smoke, I get the sulfury, band-aidy, medicinal note, and I just don't like the hospital vibe. But then I go deeper a layer, and then I get the wonderful sandalwood, and I find notes that I really love. So it is, if you like complexity, if you like something interesting, this bottle is interesting. It is different, and it could fit, this perfect wintry, winter is approaching, it's coming, it's getting colder. It could fit that perfectly. A little bready. I'm getting a little bit of a bread note walking out in a field, barley field. Biscuit. There's a lot there. There's a lot to pull apart, which is fun. That's what makes whiskey tasting a lot of fun. God. The more I'm nosing it, the more I'm starting to really enjoy this, because it's just fun to dissect. And when there's so much flavor in there with the cherry wood and the smoke layer, I might be building a new appreciation. It just takes some digging and then it can unlock. It's pretty interesting. There's some leathery in here. I just pulled some real dark leather. Wow, that's it reminds me of a saddle, like a horse saddle kind of leather. Kind of nice. Where do we see leather on this? Yeah, I could spend a long time with this nose. Wow. So here's the leather down this aged, even though it's very young, it's got those leather notes, and I'm guessing that's from the way in which they smoke it. It really has a really interesting leather. God, I gotta say, it's growing on me. I went into this thinking, oh no, how could I have missed that smoked profile written right on the label? And now my brain has gotten past that, and now it's getting way more interesting. There is a lot going on that nose. Let's go in for a sip. Wow. Woo, spicy one. Felt that down here. Warming. I kind of enjoyed that just now. Surprised. I just got some spice. A little of this clove. I'm going for a second sip. Back to, I'm getting the smoke on the nose now. Digging past the smoke. Finding the wood again. Finding the cherry wood. Finding the leather. Really climbing up in volume. Entire mouthfeel. Okay, I got that cherry wood, rich woods, a lot of woods. Smoky, fills up the palate. God, this is surprising me. This got way more interesting than I ever thought it would be for me. Okay. This is good. Very unique. Very different. Well, that one tasted a little cigar-y. God. Okay, well, if you are looking for an experience to just dissect some flavors that really I have, okay, so in the Bardstown, I love the cherry wood in this. They're so pronounced. If you want a whiskey where you're pulling apart these very unique and different flavors, this is hitting on that, on the nose, on the palate, the finish. It stays with you and you're able to just spend some time with it and it'll take you on a ride. For me, to get over my smoky kind of barrier, I had to do some digging, but once I did, there's some really interesting flavors in there. Would I buy this again? Probably not. Definitely not. I would not buy this again. Is it fun if I had somebody who really liked smoky whiskeys? I don't think I have any other smoky whiskeys that I can think of. Oh yeah, I have one that I made a mistake buying. Same mistake. It's a single malt. It was the Cedar Ridge. I ordered it, got super excited, showed up, tried it, and started reading, and I think they batched it with different flavors. And one of the things they batched in, we'll get to that one, it's got something peaty in there. Now this is not peat. They did not do anything peaty with this. This is more like they took the cherry wood and kind of these pine things and kind of roasted, kind of barbecue style, the barley. So the malted barley. So that's, done through wood and not through peat, the earth, the ground. So a little bit different, but still, smoky characteristics. This turned out to be more fun than I thought it was going to be. More interesting, way more interesting. And what's so crazy is my brain would always get those sulfury notes and I couldn't get past the sulfury notes. They're there for me. They're definitely there. And I hate that note. But there's more there to pick apart and pull apart, which I'm actually thankful for now. But this one was a lot of fun. This one was different. So let's give this one a final score here. This will be a little challenging for me because I kind of had chalked this one up to straight zeros before. Now I'm finding it more interesting. And there's the thing that, on the nose is big and powerful and there's a lot there. And I enjoyed nosing it, but I also know I don't want to buy this bottle again. So I'm stuck with scoring this. This is going to be really tough because, on the nose, there's a lot there, but there's also notes that I don't love. I'm gonna give this a 5.5. Mouth feel, it was good. Let's go 6. Balance. How would I describe balance on this one? I love that there's so much to pull apart, but then I could find notes that I really appreciated, and then I could also find notes that, not the greatest notes. All of the Band-Aid note and the kind of medicinal maybe note, just not my thing, and then that smoky layer. Oh boy, I'm all over the map on this one. This is tough. This one is tough because I found things I appreciated in this. Balance, I'm gonna go 6, flavor 6, maybe 5, let's go 5.8 on the flavor. Complexity, it's definitely complex, 6, and finish. I think it had a nice finish. We'll also go 6. So we will count out our lucky stars here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll give it a final score of a 6. What is that on the take score? A 6 is above average. Oh man, that seems, I'm going kind of average for me. Oh boy, this is a tough one. I really feel stuck with this one. Because it doesn't fit my profile of what I would ever want to buy. But do I also love having tried it? And not only trying it the first time I tried it, I hated it. I would have scored this a 0 because it shocked, like right away I got hit and looked again closer at the bottle and said, oh my God, it says smoked. I completely read past the smoked because I was so excited about the single malt. I love single malt. And then the cherrywood, I was all about it. And so just got really surprised by this one and immediately didn't like it. Now, upon digging deeper and really pushing myself to think about it and pull it apart more, I can find things that I appreciate. So how do you score that? How do you chalk that up? Would not buy this again personally, but if you like smoke and you're used to that stuff, could be your thing. Could be a fun seasonal bottle, stocking stuffer size, you know? What else do we want to look at? A few other things that I noticed about this Long Island Spirits. I had never seen this Pine Barrens before, but when you look them up, I recognized this here, Rough Riders. I've seen the Rough Rider. I've seen the Big Stick. I don't think I've ever seen Happy Warrior cast strength, because if I did, that sounds super interesting to me. But a couple of these bottles I've seen on shelves, this Rough Rider label. So this Pine Barren is Long Island Spirits, which, you know, that's this brand right here, the Rough Rider, which I have seen. Their distribution has made it out here to New Mexico. I've seen it in New England when I was in New England. I saw it in Maine when I was in Maine, California, Texas. So I believe I've seen it popping up in certain places. So that was super interesting. And that's on my to score list. If I ever find it again, I'm thinking I might try it. The other thing I was wondering is what else has barley wine? And I had seen this barley wine cask finish rye from Sagamore. I've never tried it. I've never seen it in person. But as I was digging, I had came across this one, which I do love Sagamore Spirit. Sagamore Spirit, delicious. I don't know how this barley wine finishes, because this is actually barley wine beer barrel finish. Very different than taking a mash and distilling your spirit from barley wine, which that's what this is. Nothing to do with beer barrel finish. But if you it's sometimes fun to put together collections of whiskey where you have, here's barley wine and here's barley wine beer finish and something different. And so you can kind of play around with different characteristics that might link things together. Always fun for tastings. So that might be it. I don't feel like I did a very good job scoring this one because it was so different and I didn't expect to really, you know, I don't know. I didn't expect to go as deep into this as I did, but I found things I like. Now, what will be interesting is, can I do it again? I'll come back to this one. Maybe something, you know, unique, like a first snow. Pull this off the shelf and spend some more time with it. But there's a lot there. I can nose this and immediately my brain throws up blockers like, uh-oh, sulfur note. Then I can smell it again and dig deeper for that cherrywood, leathers, a lot of body. So there's elements that are interesting, nice. All right, well, till next time, keep hunting, keep scoring, have fun, share a bottle as the weather changes, wherever you may be. You know, I hope you're having fun with some whiskey, some good friends. It's that time of year, a lot of stuff dropping, bottles that everybody chases. So good luck with finding those, but also sometimes it's fun to go off the beaten path, such as with this Barrens whiskey here, American single malt. So until next time, keep scoring, have fun, see you later.